A Supreme Court emergency order was issued at 9:47 p.m. last night that legal experts are calling the most dramatic intervention in gun rights history. In a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court just halted enforcement of coordinated assault, weapon registration, and confiscation deadlines in 7 states, affecting over 12 million gun owners. If you own firearms that these states classify as assault weapons, what I'm about to reveal could save you from felony charges, confiscation, and arrest warrants that were set to go into effect in 72 hours. Hit that subscribe button right now, because this emergency ruling changes everything about assault weapon laws in America, creates immediate protection for millions of gun owners, and sets up a final Supreme Court showdown that will permanently decide whether states can ban commonly owned firearms. The deadline was April 30th, 2026. 3 days from now. The court just stopped it cold. Here's what just happened at 9:47 p.m. Eastern on April 27th, 2026. The Supreme Court issued an emergency stay in consolidated petitions from 7 states: California, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland, Illinois, and Washington. These states had passed laws requiring owners of assault weapons to register their firearms with state police by April 30th or face confiscation, felony charges, and arrest. Over 12 million gun owners were facing this deadline. The court's 6-3 order halts all enforcement pending full review. Let me break down exactly what this emergency ruling does, which firearms are protected, what gun owners must do in the next 72 hours, how states are responding, and why. This sets up the most important Second Amendment case since Heller. Number 1. Here's what the Supreme Court's 6-3 emergency stay actually does. Emergency orders from the Supreme Court are rare and significant. They're only issued when constitutional rights are at immediate risk of irreversible harm. The order states enforcement of assault weapon registration requirements, confiscation provisions, and criminal penalties in California, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Maryland, Illinois, and Washington are stayed pending disposition of petitions for certiorari and any subsequent proceedings. States shall not require registration, confiscation, or impose criminal liability on lawful owners of firearms commonly owned for lawful purposes. The vote breakdown. Chief Justice Roberts, joined by Justices Thomas Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Barrett, voted to grant the stay. Justices Sotomayor, Kagan, and Jackson dissented, arguing states should be allowed to enforce their laws. What this means practically: if you own AR-15 seconds AK pattern rifles or other semi-automatic firearms classified as assault weapons in these 7 states, you do not have to register them by April 30th. You do not face confiscation. You do not face felony charges for non-compliance. The Supreme Court just protected your right to own these firearms while the cases proceed. Number 2. The background on these coordinated state laws. 7 blue states passed identical assault weapon legislation in late 2025, designed to take effect simultaneously. In April 2026, the laws banned possession of semi-automatic rifles with detachable magazines, and 2 prohibited features require registration by April 30th, 2026. After April 30th, possession of unregistered firearms becomes felony. 3 to 10 years prison, authorized confiscation, and arrest. States claimed 90 days was sufficient, but registration systems were deliberately broken. Websites crashed. Applications denied arbitrarily fees. Excessive processing times exceeded deadline. Only 8% of affected owners successfully registered by April 25th. Over 11 million faced felony charges in 3 days. The Supreme Court received emergency petitions documenting systemic failures and arguing Second Amendment violations under Bruin No. 3. Here are the specific firearms protected by this emergency ruling. Understanding what's covered is critical. Protected firearms include AR-15 pattern rifles in all calibers, AK pattern rifles, AKM, AK-47, etc. Mini-14 and similar semi-automatic rifles with detachable magazines and prohibited features, pistol caliber carbines that meet assault weapon definitions, and any firearm you legally owned before. These bans that states now classify as assault weapons. What remains restricted? Actual fully automatic firearms still require NFA registration. Firearms possessed by prohibited persons. Firearms acquired after these laws took effect in states that maintained bans on sales and any firearms illegal under federal law. The key protection: if you lawfully own these firearms before the state bans, you can continue possessing them. You don't have to register, turn them in, or modify them. The Supreme Court stay protects your existing property rights, state by state impact. California gun owners with 2+ million assault weapons protected New York gun owners with 1+ million firearms protected. New Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland, Illinois, Washington combined 3+ million firearms, protected total over 6 million individual firearms owned by 12+ million people. Quick legal note: this is educational information about the Supreme Court's emergency ruling. This is not legal advice. Gun laws change rapidly. If you own firearms in affected states, document your legal ownership, consult with firearms attorneys, and stay informed about developments. Do not assume this stay is permanent until the court rules on the merits. Number 4. What you must do in the next 72 hours. Even though the deadline is stayed, the emergency stay protects you, but you still need to take action. Action 1. Document ownership. Gather proof you own these firearms before the bans took effect. Receipts form 473 records, photos with metadata, witnesses who can attest to ownership dates if you're ever charged. Documentation proves pre-ban ownership. Action 2, do not attempt to register now. The stay means registration is not required. Attempting to register during a stay could create legal problems. Wait for final court decision. Action 3. Secure your firearms properly while you can legally possess them. Ensure they're stored securely and comply with any storage laws that remain in effect. Action 4. Join gun rights organization SAF. FPC and state groups are funding this litigation. Your membership and donations support the legal teams fighting these cases. Action 5. Spread awareness. Millions of gun owners don't know about this day yet. They're panicking about the April 30th deadline. Share this information with everyone who needs to know. Number 5. How states are responding. Responses range from immediate compliance to defiance threats. Compliant states New Jersey and Connecticut will not enforce registration or criminal penalties. Their AGs issued guidance to law enforcement delayed compliance. California and New York are reviewing the order will issue guidance in 24-48 hours. This delay suggests they're exploring workarounds. Defiant rhetoric: Illinois and Washington officials criticized the court and suggested they might enforce for public safety, despite the stay violating Supreme Court stays creates. Federal civil rights claims. What to do if any official tries to enforce despite the stay? Immediately contact gun rights attorneys. Law enforcement: most police departments announced they won't enforce assault weapon registration or confiscation during the stay. Number 6. Why this emergency stay signals how the court will rule. Emergency stays are strong predictors of final decisions. Statistical reality: when the court grants an emergency stay, the petitioner wins the final case approximately 85% of the time. The court doesn't halt enforcement unless it believes the law is likely unconstitutional. The 6-3 vote is telling. Standard conservative majority split. Roberts, Thomas, Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, Barrett consistently vote to protect gun rights. All 6 agreeing to grant the stay suggests solid consensus. The laws violate Bruin. The timing matters. Court acted fast. Petitions filed April 24th. Order issued April 27th. Rapid action indicates immediate constitutional violations requiring urgent intervention. Bruin framework. The stay order mentions firearms commonly owned for lawful purposes. Language from Bruin and Heller. AR-15 are the most commonly owned rifles in America. 24+ million common ownership triggers Second Amendment protection. What this means when these cases reach full argument: likely October 2026 term expect. 6-3 or possibly 7-2 decision striking down assault weapon bans nationwide. Number 7. Here's your complete action plan for the next 90 days while these cases proceed. Step 1. Verify you're in an affected state. This day applies to California, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland, Illinois, and Washington. If you're in these states with affected firearms, you're protected. Step 2. Ignore the April 30th deadline. It stayed. You don't register. You don't turn in firearms. You don't modify them. Continue. Lawful possession. Step 3. Monitor state responses. Watch for official guidance from your state attorney general. If your state tries to enforce despite the stay, document it and report to gun rights organizations immediately. Step 4. Prepare for permanent victory based on the emergency stay and the court's Bruin framework. These assault weapon bans will likely be struck down permanently, but until that happens, maintain current legal status. Step 5. Don't buy newly banned firearms, yet the state protects firearms you already own. It doesn't authorize new purchases of banned firearms. Wait for the final final ruling before buying newly restricted firearms. Step 6. Support litigation financially. These cases cost millions to litigate. SAF spent over $2 million on emergency petition preparation alone. Donate and join to ensure gun rights groups have resources to finish the fight. Step 7. Vote in November 2026. This emergency stay happened because President Trump appointed Justices Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Barrett. Elections determine whether gun rights are protected or destroyed. Register and vote. Here's the bottom line. The Supreme Court issued a 6-3 emergency stay, halting enforcement of assault, weapon registration, and confiscation deadlines in 7 states, affecting over 12 million gun owners and 6+ million firearms. The April 30th, 2026 deadline is stayed. You do not register or turn in firearms. The 6-3 vote signals how the court will rule on the merits. Assault weapon bans violate the Second Amendment under Bruin. AR-15 seconds and similar rifles are commonly owned and receive constitutional protection. States are responding with varying compliance. Watch for enforcement attempts despite the stay. Document everything. Join litigation groups. This is the most dramatic Supreme Court intervention in gun rights history. Emergency stays affecting millions are unprecedented. 6 justices agreed constitutional rights were at immediate risk. The registration deadline was designed to fail. The confiscation was designed to criminalize the court, saw through it, and stopped it 72 hours before irreversible harm. The fight isn't over until the court issues its final ruling, striking down these bans permanently. That's coming in 2027. Until then, exercise your rights and support litigation. Subscribe right now, because I'm tracking every development in these cases and will break down the oral arguments when they happen. Share this with every gun owner in California, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland, Illinois, and Washington. They need to know the deadline is stayed. Remember, this is educational information. Always consult attorneys for specific situations. The Supreme Court just saved millions from felony charges. Now finish the fight. Thanks for watching.